Okay, everyone, good evening. Let's go ahead and get started. We'll start with the pledge. Please stand. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
and welcome everyone to our September 10th board meeting for the Waynesboro Area School District. Let's start with roll.
Ms. Zimmerman,
Here.
Ms. Straight, here. Dr. Royer,
Here.
Mr. Marvin,
Here.
Mr. Hamburger.
Here.
Mrs. Miles.
Here.
Mrs. Courtney.
Here.
Mr. Pence.
Here.
Mr. Smith.
Present. Okay, we have everybody in the house this evening. Wow, that's first for a few weeks. So welcome back, everyone. And welcome to our ninth grade civic students who joining us this evening. Appreciate you being here. And you are fortunate that we have pretty short agenda this evening. So if you plan on staying through the entire meeting, that's okay. All right. Let's go ahead and start with approval of the agenda for tonight. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Any comments, questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, we move to approve minutes for the August 27th meeting. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, we'll start with our superintendent's report. Dr. Sternham.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. At your area, I do have some, information regarding, Title IX. I had indicated in the Friday folder that I would provide some of the law, center updates, so that's for your reading. Also, big congratulations to, Ms. Megan McGuire, our Fairview principal, as well as Dr. McCallum, principal at, Washes, for both being selected to be presenters at the SAS Institute in December at Hershey. So big congratulations to those ladies. Also tomorrow, as a result of a bill that was signed into law in June of 19th of 2024 by Governor Josh Shapiro, we will be observing a moment of silence in honor of 9/11. PDE has also provided some additional materials from a curricular perspective that they did share out on Friday. So I was able to push some of that out as well, but we will be honoring a moment of silence tomorrow within our schools. Also, we did receive a $3,000 grant from the F&M Trust Commonwealth Charitable Management Organization to benefit after-school and competition programs. So we're very thankful for F&M reaching out to us and offering us that grant opportunity. And just a big reminder that on Thursday night, we have our second annual Parent Community Night at Washes. We have two outstanding speakers and there'll be numerous representatives from the community. It's really meant to be an opportunity for members of our community, our school community, obviously, as well, to be able to tap into some resources for their families, their learners. Any friends or families that might be interested in coming, they are welcome to attend. So
What time does that
see-
start?
It starts at 6 o'clock. So
Okay.
they have the representatives in the hallway in the Washes auditorium from 6 to 6:30, and then the two speakers are at between 6:30 and 7:30. And so we have a speaker by the name of Dr. Sarah Mayer. She is going to talk about trauma in children, and then we have a return speaker, Mr. Travis Kaiser. He did speak last year at the middle school. He is a local community member that works very closely with cybersecurity type issues, primarily about keeping our children safe. So it should be a very informative night, and I encourage you to attend. And a big thank you to Ms. States for coordinating this event.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Sternheim. And let's move to public comment. Any public comment this evening? Thank you. And now we move to our student board report. It's fall. Alexis, how you doing? Mhm.
Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Great for first few weeks of school. Everybody had a great first few weeks. Everybody's getting used to their classes, everything like that. Hoping by next meeting we have our next school board representative with me. Um, Other than that, Fall Picture Day is on Tuesday, September 17th for all students, and homecoming is coming up in the next few weeks, and all activities like that, like the pep rally, class wars, spirit week, football game, and dance will be coming up. One of our personal finance teachers and CCR teachers, Mr. Fisher, and his CCR class have decided to sell T-shirts for breast cancer awareness and homecoming, and all of the funds from that will be going to the Rhonda Schreiner Women's Center in Chambersburg. And this upcoming Thursday, we have an early dismissal, which we will be holding our fall field day, which students can go to the YMCA, pumpkin carving, see movies and stuff like that on that day, and just have a fun overall day. That's everything. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Let's move to board reports. Anything from policy committee?
Next policy committee is on September 26th.
Okay,
You need a report.
number 26, policy committee, academic committee.
Yes, academic committee met today, and we had several updates regarding elementary enrollment. And also, tell you what, could you go to someone else so I can pull the agenda up?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Facility.
Facilities has not
I'll get the
met
agenda.
since last board meeting. We will be meeting next Tuesday, September 17th at 5:30 p.m. Here in this room, and then I can do budget as well. Budget met yesterday. We are very early in the process, so more just kind of an overview of what the next coming months will happen. We're going to work with Dr. Holtzman in the next board meeting to kind of do a quick presentation of what does that budget planning schedule look like for the board. We're also in development of Q&A on PA adequacy funding. You might have heard that that has come up, and that is a portion of that is what we received from the state. But as always, there's formulas and calculations and stipulations that come with that. So we're developing a kind of a Q&A with that. And we will also be in continuing discussions with the facilities committee on various capital projects. As we were kind of looking at it, there's a lot that we want to do, a lot that needs to be done. But the question is always, how are we going to pay for it and when? So that is, it's one thing to note there. I think the last thing I'll say, just budget wise, just in terms of things that my own personal, as I read and keep up with the news in the past, 4 months, I've seen anywhere from, 4 to 5 articles about school funding. And so a lot of it has to do with the fact that the federal ESSER funds are running out and you have to use it by the end of this month, which for a lot of school districts creates what's called a funding cliff, meaning here's all this funding and now it's gone. So what do you do? And a lot of what these articles were highlighting is that there's districts that are facing layoffs or cutting teaching positions and support staff. Some districts anywhere from 1% to 3% of their staff. Where if you think just 1% for our district is anywhere from 4 to 7 teachers if we were in that same position. So or they have to cancel or stop programs. And so thankfully, our district is not in that position. So I just want to thank the board and the admin team for the past few years. Means that we don't need to cut people and we don't need to cut programs. So that's something I just wanted to kind of highlight and thank you for the administration team, Dr. Holtzman and the business team and the board for making that happen. We're a fairly kind of lean and frugal school district. As you'll see in the Q&A about adequacy funding, according to the state, we're in the bottom 33rd of local tax effort in terms of the burden on our taxpayers. And so what that means is that we do the best at what we have. And so I'm thankful for the support of all of you guys in terms of the past budget and the previous budgets that, unlike other school districts across the nation, we're not cutting anyone, we're looking to hire. So, that's all I have for budget. We will next meet in October.
Thank you, Mr. Marvin.
I'm
Okay,
ready.
All right.
Thanks for giving me some time. I appreciate it. So we had a great agenda today. The first thing, that we talked about was, WAM Summer School and the math requirement. Commend Dr. McCallum and her administrative team and her teachers, for putting together a pilot program, looking at how much, academic success our students could have working in a small group. We found a high rate of failures in math at middle school. Those students come into the high school and they take Algebra 1, in two parts, A and B, over 2 semesters. And they found that that wasn't being successful because some students were not even passing Algebra A in the first semester. So Dr. McCallum put together a program with small groups, and lower student teacher ratio, and it's been very successful. So we're going to look at continuing that, and also looking at some things that we can do at the middle school, perhaps having like an early summer school, for those students that it's already been determined that they're failing, prior to the end of school. So, great discussion on that. Dr. McCallum also shared that AP exams are slowly going digital. As they do that, we will be, in compliance by going in that direction. I asked her if she had any heard anything from teachers, and she said that she had not. We had an update on homework at elementary from Dr. DeShong. He gave us some information, some articles on homework, some recent research to look at, just an informational item. We also talked about, WAM's math remediation information. That was what I just talked to you about, and a placement rubric. Dr. Kopko, who is serving as our instructional math coach this year, put together, a really detailed rubric based on strong student data as to who would be eligible to take pre-algebra in 7th grade or 6th grade. It's always been a struggle, to determine, who's eligible and who isn't, and having really, strong criteria. So she's now looking at, PSSA scores in reading and math. She's looking at PVOS data. She's looking at attendance, and she's looking at, iReady data from our new, math series. So I think that'll give a lot more strong information, so we don't put students that are not really ready into an accelerated math program that perhaps are not going to be successful. So that was, I thought, great work from Dr. Kopko and her team. And we also talked about,
Dr. Wang.
oh, I'm sorry.
Did
Did I say it twice?
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
Dr. Weinkoop.
Yes,
Dr.
she's new in that
Kopko.
role, so.
Yeah.
But Dr. Kopko is a math teacher.
Yes, she
so
is.
That's probably. a
Yes, she
correlation.
is. Yes. Doctor, thanks for correcting me.
Yeah.
And, Project iGuardian, Mr. DeAngelis was talking to us about. Last year in the spring, Special Agent Travis Kaiser from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security presented a program in the spring, to parents, regarding the dangers of, many things, in terms of the internet. He is going to, looking for permission as to what we thought about bringing this to his students, his 8th grades. I believe it's going to be, I'm not sure what grade, I guess all grades. Looking at awareness of dangers of social media, identity theft, extortion, child predation, I'm not sure how to say that, and how the children can protect themselves in the digital world, and what to do if they would find themselves a victim of any of these crimes. And we're also looking forward to having another parent presentation next spring, similar to the one that we had this spring. Hopefully by sending information home with students that we're having this type of program, we might get more interest. Wasn't a bad attendance for last year, but there certainly should be more people attending something like that than there was. That's it.
Next meeting is
Next meeting is November 12th.
Thank you.
Yes, at 10:30.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we move on to our first item of business, personnel. Dr. DeShong.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, we have a number of things we're seeking approval for. We have 5 resignations for support staff. 4 of them are support and 1 is coaching. We have 3 support staff reassignments and 2 support staff changes of hours. We have 6 support staff assignments or appointments we're seeking your approval for, from paraprofessional, cafeteria, custodial to PCA, which is a personal care aide for a learner. We have 3 coaching appointments. We're seeking your approval for field hockey and 2 assistant football coaches. In addition, we have extracurricular staff for our Twilight program at Washes, 3 coordinators and a teacher, and student production drama staff. And we have support staff, substitute support staff we're seeking your approval for. And then also 3 leaves of absence.
Okay, so the motion is to approve the personnel that's listed.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we move to drivers. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Dr.
Thank you very much. So we have drivers for both one of our contractors as well as district employees, and they've met the background and criteria required to seek approval to have them as drivers for the district.
Okay, so is a motion to approve drivers as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions for Dr. Hostman? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next, the agreement with Earth Networks for high school weather camera. Is that Nick?
Hey, Mr. Smith,
Ooh.
just wanted to ask for approval for this hosting agreement. Some of you do know, we do have a weather bug camera located at our high school that looks back on the football field. That camera has failed over the summer, so we're requesting approval for this agreement. This is a new agreement with Earth Networks. And is required to replace that camera. And that camera is going to be free of charge. It's actually going to be funded by, I believe, it's either NBC 27 or WGAL Channel 8. I can't remember the exact one. But one of those stations is actually sponsoring the purchase of this camera. This is just an agreement to allow them to place the camera on our property.
So the motion is the approval of hosting agreement with Earth Networks. Is there a motion?
Move to
So-
approve.
Second.
Question.
Third.
Questions for Nick? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed?
I use these.
Mr. Hamburger is very for this agreement.
And when I travel, I check the weather,
Okay.
so I can put the top down.
Should be a good
week for it.
I hope.
See any rain in the forecast.
So let's see, next we go to data backup marketplace contract. We're back to Nick.
Yes, this is a contract. It's a 3-year contract. This was actually the purchase of this was actually approved at the last meeting of June between our solicitor and CCIU solicitor. We had some additions and changes to said contract. So we're coming to get your approval for this backup agreement with CCIU. This is budgeted and this was approved by our solicitor.
Okay. So the motion is to approve the data backup marketplace contract with CCIU.
Move to approve.
Second.
Questions?
Yeah, just a question. This is for backup only, not processing or anything?
Just backup only, and all the data will be encrypted at rest.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Down to purchase orders and bills for payment and the ceded land tax exoneration. Dr. Holtzman.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So we do have checks for payment both for the cafeteria as well as the general fund. Also requisitions for both the same as well. And then we do have one update there on a ceded land tax that's for a mobile home that was not on the property.
Okay, so the motion is to approve the purchase order for bill and payment and the ceded land tax exoneration.
So moved. Pay the bills.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Good. Wow, that brings us to our late cabinet comments. Any comments? Anyone?
I did want to let the board know that our wonderful weather station from Penn State was installed. We are waiting for that to go fully live before we do send any information out. Some of the data is live right now. We're just waiting for the camera information to go live, and then we're going to send that out to the district as well. So just wanted to let you know.
What website is that going to be on?
It's going to be Penn State's, I think it's Penn State's client, Mesonet it's called. And that data will be on there, to store it and so forth. And I'll be sure in this Friday folder to include the link, for everyone, that if you want to look at it, you can. But like I said, it is not completely live yet. They're, working to get the camera footage on there. But we're really excited about it. It's a very, sophisticated piece of equipment. So.
Hey, it's Penn State. What do you expect?
Dr. Shaw?
Well, yeah, I just wanted to note that at your seats there, I handed out the invitation in November for our kind of second official annual like school board visitation during National Education Week. So it'll be on Monday of that week as well as Friday. Yeah, so we'll visit 3 schools on that Monday and then 3 schools on Friday. We'll try to meet all here and then jump in a van together to help eliminate parking issues at the various buildings. So if you're able to attend, we'd love to have you. If you can, that's understandable too. And we are excited about our first scheduled 2-hour early dismissal, as Alexis mentioned here Thursday. We have things lined up at Washes and Whams. They'll be working on Leader and Me, which they just started kind of implementing last year, though, working on that as well as common assessments. And then the elementary school will be working with iReady. So.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Holzman?
Yes, sir. We did have some good news. We had applied for a couple different grants. We actually heard back from the first one at this point, and we're going to receive $151,000 towards our middle school asbestos mitigation project. So everyone's excited. So. But anyway, it is good news. I mean, oftentimes we apply for many grants and we never see the grants, but this one we received a piece. They did reduce the amount of money across the board. I think the demand was much higher than what was available. I think there were $75 million available across the state. The Career Tech also did get about $500,000. So I did put a question into them as well as, I think that's going towards their roof, if I remember correctly. So we'll see how that affects our, end costs, because they were anticipating some grant money to help offset that cost. So that should help us in our share a little bit. Good news.
Good news. Yes, thank you. All right, board member comments. Any comments from any boards?
Actually, I have one. And nothing that happened tonight here, but when I was teaching, sometimes I felt that, we have too many people in administration, and we're administration heavy. And why are we spending all this money on all these administrators? Well, what I've realized though, since I've been on the board, and especially these last few weeks, is we've even added some administrators in the past couple of years since I've been on the board. But, these administrators are worth their weight in gold. They're innovative. They are intent on helping our students succeed. And anyway, I no longer have the same feelings since I am involved in this aspect. So anybody out there who is thinking that, maybe we're not spending our money wisely, I think we are. Well said. So thank you, administrators.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
I just want to highlight what Dr. Royer said that they're doing for the middle school and the cybersecurity. It's a sad reality in my profession that it's not just kids that are vulnerable, but adults, and especially elderly adults are especially vulnerable through social media, and particularly those who are looking to take advantage of them and fraud. And so I think educating our students is fantastic and needs to be done. Because then our students can also go and educate their parents or their grandparents or family members about things to be on the lookout for. One of the hardest aspects that I've had in a job is when someone's being taken advantage because of fraud. And so I think that's a fantastic program to offer to our students, because the impact of that is not just the students, but it's their families and those in the community as well. And so I think that's one of the things whenever we're teaching or in a classroom, the things that we teach go beyond just who's in front of us. It can go out further than that. So I just wanted to commend I'm not sure who brought them to begin with, but I'm glad that we're doing it and just wanted to kind of highlight that and reemphasize it as well. So.
I think he's a Maori parent,
Okay.
that started out at Maori, and then Jason got in touch with Mr. DeAngelis, and it kind of got that way, but he's definitely very passionate about it.
And he's here through.
The top dog, isn't he?
Yes.
The watchdog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he'll be there?
Top dog,
Yeah.
the
Okay.
watchdog.
And we need all those 13-year-olds to tell us how to use our computers.
Yes, we do.
I thank you for
I
that.
did earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just clarifying, it's the same gentleman that is on the agenda to present on Thursday at the high school. So he
Okay,
was
cool.
here last spring. We did talk about an academic committee that they're looking at bringing him to talk to our middle school learners, but he's also here
Okay, good.
to meet with parents and the community on Thursday.
So as many people in the community who can go to that, I think it's highly beneficial.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I just wanted to say kudos to I think it was the high school, Dr. Roy, that you mentioned that were trying to re-image the teaching of math, especially algebra, based on trying to improve students' abilities in math. Because one of the things that's suffering in our country is STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And so anything we can do to kind of strengthen those departments and help kids to be interested in those things, as opposed to it's like, oh no, I'm going to math or even science or those other things. That's great. I am on a committee representing PSBA that's called the Education Next Committee, and we meet once a month. And one of the things that we're charged with doing is to sort of, because of the budget, the increase in the budget, what direction do we want the state to go into as much? So PASBO and some other organizations have representatives. And one of the things that is coming up is this, we've been doing school this way for 50, 60 years. We've been doing school the same way. The same structure, the same everything, right? And so we have to find a way to kind of reimagine education. Because there's a certain population of students that traditional schools are not reaching. And we have to be innovative. One of the things that I think COVID taught us was that it forced us to be innovative. And so now that we know that these kinds of things exist, doing it proactively as opposed to waiting until there's a need for it. And but there are a great number of students who do not succeed in the traditional school model. And so the people in this committee and the people across the state are realizing this. That may look different than it looked like when we went to school. And even the whole thing with homework, I'm on the fence with homework because that's a whole nother theory. I believe that I believe in homework, right? I believe in homework and issuing homework, so that's another issue. But anyway, but that's what this committee is doing. And so it's good to hear that we are doing that. We've already started trying to rethink how we do teaching here in this particular case, math, but just the way we're teaching in general. So kudos. Any other board comments before we adjourn? Okay. And after we adjourn, there will be no executive session. So is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Motion passed.